You mentioned you picked up a lot of more new listings. I'm just want to dig into the demographics there. So, and this is why a guy, I met him over the weekend. He raised like a $38 billion fund. So he's got a little bit of experience in real estate. And he was saying like, this is the first time in pretty much everyone's life, most, at least if you're active in the market, it's probably the first time in your life that the mortgage rate is lower than the inflation rate.
Yeah.
Meaning if you've got a 2.5% mortgage and your option out there is now low fives, could end up being, 6+ at that point, there's a new thought process that comes where if you don't have to sell, like why on earth would you ever do that? So the
Yeah.
demographics, are you seeing those folks that they were already going to upgrade, or are these people downgrading, or what are you thinking?
No, and you're absolutely right, man. The primary home market is going to continue to be tough because like they didn't really have anywhere to buy anyway before interest rates started coming up. So that was already an issue there. Even the people that really wanted to upgrade or downgrade, so they really couldn't do that because there wasn't even any inventory. Now they're like, it's like kind of a double whammy because now they're like, well, I'm locked into a 3.5%, or I'm locked into a 2.8 or a 3.1. Why would I go out and not only buy at these crazy high prices, but also at, twice the interest rate I have currently? So now we're at even a more retraction, I believe, of primary home owners going out there and listing properties. But it's something that I've been preaching a lot about over the last couple months, and that is again going back to the low hanging fruit that your last guest was talking about. The low hanging fruit for me right now in the residential sector is going to be your absentee owners, your second home owners, your vacation property owners.
Yep. Or they can cash in.
They can cash in. They can cash in. They can set out for a second and kind of see what happens. You're never going to sell at the very top. You're never going to buy at the very bottom. We got to be as close as it gets to the best time to maybe think about pulling the trigger if you're thinking about taking some cash off the table of an investment, a second home, an absentee owner. And so I've been preaching go after those. I'm in this secondary vacation market. We're on the beach. We sell mostly vacation properties, condos and stuff on the beach. So, I mean, one of those might have been a house. I think we listed a lot, and then the rest were condos. So I'm kind of sticking to my guns here that, moving forward and everything, that's kind of the best sector to hit are those second homes, absentee owners, vacation property owners, investment properties, the rental properties, and people like that might want to take cash off the table. And look, what are they going to do with the money, right? They're going to 1031 into, so that's an issue as well, right? Replacing that, and what are we going to do with the money? But there are listings coming up. Somebody's listing properties,
Yep.
right? You can't just sit around and say, oh, well, nobody's listing, I'm just going to pack it in and just not try. If you want to be successful, you got to continue pushing through.
Yeah, and
And
I've been telling agents too. It's like agent, because investors now make up to like 25% of the buyers. So understanding what investors look for, whether that's local investors or your big guys, understanding what they look for can help you transact more, both working with sellers but also working with with them as buyers, because
I like what
ultimately
your last
the
guest.
agent that has the database and knows and has these tools, it's pretty easy because you're a transactional business. An investor, there's a little bit more. They can actually take a loss. The agent doesn't really take a loss outside of maybe marketing dollars and time.
I like what your last guest said about, something comes across his desk, he's gonna do that deal. He doesn't care if it's farmland, commercial, house, whatever the case may be. Right. Same thing here. Investors come across, help them. We're just in the business of helping people, right? Figure out what they want to do, why they want to do it, and help them do it. Where people get us confused with salespeople or sales. It's not really sales, really, if you think about it. It's more service oriented.
Yep.
We're just trying to evaluate what someone's trying to do, help them create a game plan around how to accomplish that, and then help them execute.